Hey guys, Adam from Southend Dog Training. Today's topic of conversation is going to be prong collars. I'm seeing a lot of people that have no idea what prong collars are, and very good people, other professionals, dog handlers, and honest people that are trying their best to help their dogs be abused daily. Some of them are even receiving death threats, people saying to put the collar on yourself, and it's ridiculous, guys. So, it pains me that I even have to do this video, but I'm sick and tired of seeing people say, put the collar on your neck. I'd love to see a prong collar on a human. So, we've got a prong collar on my neck. So, it's in my neck. This is the only one I had in the house. This is a 2.25mm prong collar. So, it's a little bit tight on my neck. But, I just want to give you an idea. We can pull on this collar. It's all flimsy. We can pull on this collar and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't. It's got prongs on it. It's got prongs on it, but they're rounded off. They're not bedding into my neck. They're not hurting. Anything like that. Do that. Put it tight. So we're having a right good yank on this. Okay, and it doesn't cause any pain to me. It doesn't. It's a bit uncomfortable because it's sitting right on my Adam's apple. I'm not a dog. But apart from that, pulling on this pulling on this prong collar doesn't actually hurt. It's not pinching my skin. It's not embedding in my skin. It doesn't hurt. Now, anyone wants to turn around and say, well, why don't you yank on it? The reason I'm not going to yank on it, one is because that would hurt. But it would also hurt if I yanked on any collar. If I yanked on a flat buckle collar, that would hurt. If I yanked on a head collar, that would hurt. If I yanked on a dog that was wearing a no-pull harness, that would hurt. We don't yank on dogs. It doesn't matter what tool we're using. We don't yank on dogs. We don't. We use pressure, slight pressure. So if I was a dog, I'd apply slight pressure like so. Pressure and release, pressure and release, pressure and release. So I'm not going to yank on this collar because that's pointless. Why would I yank on a collar when I don't even yank on a collar that a dog's wearing? And that's what a lot of dog trainers who use these properly do. They don't yank on the collar. They don't. It's not a collar designed to yank and cause pain to a dog. The reason these are effective is because they sit up on the highest point of your neck. They sit right up on your neck and it fits to your dog's neck. It doesn't sit on their trachea, anything like that. I've started using this one with my dog Sammy. Everyone knows Sammy. Sammy's trained to walk off lead. She does off lead hill work. So Sammy can wear a harness, a slip lead, flat buckle collar. She can wear anything. She doesn't even need to wear anything. But with a flat buckle collar, if she does ever put slight pressure or pull a little bit, anything like that, she makes these horrible gasping noises, like she's choking. So we put her on a prong collar. Sammy never wore a prong collar. You'll get to see a video after this of Sammy wearing a prong collar, so you can let me know if the dog looks shut down, if the dog looks abused. She doesn't. She won't. Okay. So Sammy doesn't make any gasping noises on a prong collar. She doesn't yelp. Her tail's not tucked between her legs. She's not shutting down. She understands about pressure, and she's absolutely fine wearing a prong collar. Now, if a prong collar actually really hurt the dog, we wouldn't use it. It's the same as when we use e-collars. People just don't understand e-collars. They don't. So they just instantly assume we're shocking the dog. The reality is prong collars are probably the best training collar for dogs. Big pullers, reactive dogs, things like that. Because they give you more control. It doesn't mimic the bite of a dog. I hear people say that all the time. It doesn't. It doesn't mimic the bite of a dog. A dog's clever enough to know that it's not a dog biting them to help them calm down the way a mother dog would. That's ridiculous. Whoever created that notion is talking out their ass. It doesn't. But something about the collar does help the dog calm down. And I think what it mainly is that helps the dog calm down is it takes a lot of pressure away from the dog. See, when we use a prong collar, we're incredibly gentle. Just like that. Slow, gentle movements. Whereas on a sliply, on a choke chain, on a flat buckle collar, the dog can get so much more leverage. The dog can really pull, and all that pressure causes the dog stress. It's directly on their trachea. They can pull a lot more for a lot longer, and this actually causes them a lot of mental stress. But we don't actually see the physical stress that's going on either internally to the dog. So when you've got a collar pushing against your trachea constantly, it hurts and it causes a lot of stress and can cause structural damage to the dog's actual throat. When a dog's on a harnesses, those no pull harnesses, they don't work. They don't. The dog can pull with more comfort. Yes, you might feel like you have more control of the dog, but you're not teaching the dog anything whatsoever. Okay? And head collars, well, I completely hate head collars. I don't have a problem with anyone that uses head collars, and I never comment on anyone that's using head collars if they're using them correctly, because a head collar is a training tool, just like a prong collar is a training tool. Okay, but head collars are uncomfortable. They apply pressure points to the dog's snout, which is uncomfortable. You maneuver the dog round by its face, and if you misuse a head collar, you can break a dog's neck. Okay, a head collar is a go-to tool for a lot of positive-only dog trainers. Harnesses are go-to tools for a lot of positive-only dog trainers. Okay, but I search for pictures of abuse caused by training tools, prong collars, e-collars, harnesses, head collars, black buckle collars. We searched. The alarming thing was the amount of images that come up of dogs wearing harnesses or flat buckle collars. Most of the pictures we found were collars that had been embedded into the dog's neck, where the dog had grown into the collar. I could only find a handful of pictures on dogs being abused by prong collars. And again, the pictures are the same result. The collar growing into the dog's neck. This, I mean, to actually puncture a dog's skin, I mean, you've got to be some sort of animal, really, you have, to actually hit the collar that hard that it punctures the dog's skin. So when we see these dogs with the holes in their neck, what it is the collar's either grown into the dog's neck, where the collar's been left on them and they've been abandoned, or for whatever which reason, the same as when we see with flat buckle collars or harnesses, things like that. Or they've gone and got some medieval torture device that looks like a prong collar, where it actually has spikes on it and not prongs that are rounded off. Okay, so we use Herm Sprenger prong collars. The points are rounded off. The bigger the prong collar, in my opinion, the better, because the thicker the prongs, which means they're even more smoother. So this is a 2.25. We'll often use a 3mm prong collar. 2.25mm is acceptable for staffy dogs and smaller than that. If you use it on an even smaller dog, then you can get micro ones. We prefer the 3mm prong collars, particularly for the hardier breeds. Okay, but a prong collar doesn't hurt dogs. I mean, you can hurt a dog, don't get me wrong, you can. But you can hurt a dog with a flat buckle collar, you can hurt a dog with a head collar, you can hurt a dog on a harness, you can hurt a dog by giving it treats for every little behaviour it does, to the point the dog becomes obese and then gets further health problems. Okay, so the point of this video I'm trying to make, and the fact that I've actually got to sit here with a prong collar on my neck, really does infuriate me, it really does. Not because I've got a prong collar on my neck, but the fact that people use this constantly. I would love to see him put a prong collar on his neck. I would love to see, let me use the prong collar on them, etc, etc, etc. Okay, here's why it's ridiculous. One, we're not dogs. We're not. A dog's neck and a human neck are built completely different. Dogs have got so much muscle in their neck, okay? So their skin is a lot tougher than human skin. They are. I mean, if I bite down on my hand, which I'm not going to do. Okay. If I bite down on my hand, I just leave a mark. If a dog bites down on my hand, it pierces the skin instantly. Okay. If I was to bite a dog, I very much doubt I'm going to pierce the skin. Just to clarify, we don't bite dogs. But it's just to say that the dog's skin is a lot tougher than human skin. Okay. Their necks are a lot stronger than human necks. Okay. So when you make a comparison between putting it on a child, putting it on a human because you wouldn't want to put it on your dog. That is absolutely ridiculous, guys, because humans and dogs are built completely different. So here I am, sitting with a prong collar on my neck, pulling on it, pulling on it, pulling on it. And yes, it's probably left some marks on my skin, okay? But that is because I've got sensitive skin. So if I do this, just have a little scratch, everyday scratch like some people do, you'll also notice that the scratch leaves marks on my skin. So before anybody goes, look at all the marks on his neck from the prong collar, I have sensitive skin. Just scratching my skin leaves a mark. That mark will clear up after a few seconds. The same as when I take this prong collar off my neck, it will clear up in a few seconds, okay? But prong collars are not abusive tools. They're not. So next time you see somebody using a prong collar, before you jump on the bandwagon, you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. First of all, have you ever used a prong collar? Have you ever felt a prong collar? If the answer is no, then shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about, okay? Then, secondly, if you're so opposed to them and you have seen them be used, why are you so opposed to them? Did the dog trainer or the person you see yank on the dog on the collar so hard the dog yelped? If yes, then I can slightly understand why you think they're bad. But let's just put this into perspective. You could do that with any tool. You can. You can hurt a dog with any tool. And a prong collar is no different. But for those of us that use it correctly, the dogs are relaxed, the dogs aren't shutting down, the dogs aren't yelping, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos out there to prove this. So the fact I'm sitting here with an the fact I'm sitting here with a prong collar on my neck really is sad. It is, when there's so much information out there for you. And all I ever see is all these positive only activists jumping on people's bandwagons saying, oh my god, put the collar on yourself, oh my god, why would you use it, oh my god, that's a barbaric device. And what it is people just not understanding. So prong collar on the neck doesn't hurt, it doesn't, okay? So next time you see someone use a prong collar, please be a little bit more open-minded. And just remember that the people that use prong collars and are using them correctly, they're actually doing things with their dog. Their relationship with their dog is probably better than a lot of people out there that are not training their dogs. It's not. Okay. So the last thing I want to add is, when it comes to prong collars, I've never seen a dog run away from a prong collar. The sight of a prong collar, I have never seen a dog run away from one. Okay, but I've seen countless dogs hide from head collars. I've seen countless dogs lay down on the floor because they don't want a harness put on them. Okay, you can condition a dog to like these things, but on actual presence, 9 out of 10 dogs are more comfortable having a prong collar stuck on them than they are a head collar or a harness. You don't see dogs scratching at prong collars. You don't see dogs sitting on the floor trying to avoid the prong collar. You see this with head collars, you see this with harnesses. The dogs will run away, the dogs will hide. Okay, so you've got a tool that looks more uncomfortable than a head collar. Okay, but most dogs run away from head collars. Most dogs will scratch at head collars. Most dogs do not enjoy head collars. Yet when dogs see a prong collar and they've been taught correctly with the prong collar, they don't run away from the prong collar. They're not hiding from the prong collar. The prong collar represents we're going for a walk. It represents good things happening. It represents more freedom. Okay, so I've rambled on a bit now, but just to put this into perspective, prong collars, they really don't hurt. They don't. So if this helps anyone, if it helps change someone's perception, then I consider this video a success. But the fact I've even had to make a video with a prong collar on my neck just to show people that it doesn't hurt is sad, when there's so much information out there that can help people. There is so many horrible and vile people out there that claim to be positive only, and these are the most vile, vindictive people in the world. And I guarantee that when we upload this, we're going to get a hell of a lot of them jump on the bandwagon. We will. they're going to start saying how abusive they are, because again, they cannot see the information that is right in front of them. Okay, so just keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the anti-prong collar activists coming in